Are you a business owner or are you just a driver with more bills? Happy Saturday morning, everybody. We're kind of sitting around hanging out. Welcome to the second video. Today, we're going to be talking about leasing on versus starting your own MC. The rest of the series from here is if you decide that you want to start your MC and everything that comes with it, the good, the bad, the ugly. Today's video is going to be talking about lease on and some of the benefits, because there are some benefits to leasing on, especially if you are fresh and green in this industry. It gives you an opportunity to kind of crawl, then walk, and then run, and then try for a marathon. Like, think about it that way. Nobody just shows up and runs a marathon cold. Some people do, some people make it, some people get hurt. Seriously. Let's jump right into it. So let's start off with the MC, the illusion, the thought that the MC offers a level of freedom. And to some extent, yes, it does. You do have the ability to tell people no. Your decisions affect you and your driver if you happen to have one. So you start an MC, the cost of it is you have standalone insurance. If you are a one truck operation, you're not going to benefit from any type of fleet discounts. And that's the same thing for factoring rates, things like that. If you're brand new and your credit's kind of shot, or you don't have a lot of capital and you are factoring, I mean, you could see really, really crummy rates as high as 5%. And I mean, some of these factoring companies out here are tying how much, like if you get a fuel card with them too, they're tying how much fuel you're burning through every single month directly to your factoring percentage. So for those of you that are doing that, we'll cover that later. Make sure you separate those two. And the other thing that starting your MC that people don't realize, there's a lot of regulation and compliance. Let's say you're a one truck operation. You're just doing it yourself. We're starting fresh. Did you know you have to have a disqualification file on yourself? Absolutely. So that's just a small example between that and like new entrance safety audits, all that kind of stuff. So let's say that you don't know all of that and we want to continue with the idea of leasing on. Well, this is where you get kind of the benefit of joining somebody else's team. I'm going to explain the benefits and then I'll explain the risks. The benefits are somebody's already established. Their authority is old enough that they can pretty much work with every broker, provided they haven't, pissed them off or blacklisted or carrier 411 themselves. Something to pay attention to. The other thing, you get like fleet insurance rates. Those come down. And especially after companies have been in business for 2 or 3 years, the insurance rates start coming down considerably. The other thing, you're going to get fuel discounts if they've already got an established program. And of course, if you sign on with somebody else, that it goes back to that broker reputation where the broker maybe recognizes that company name and you're a part of that. And they go, oh, okay, I've worked with them before. We're going to feed them. But herein lies the risk. First of all, I want you guys to check everything contract-wise. Make sure that you have an easy exit if you need it. Make sure that you understand exactly what you're paying, what the fees are, what that schedule is. I want to put this bug in your ear that for insurance, just to sign on and join somebody else's, there's going to be a hefty price tag to that, which means you could have to put $1,000 down. You could have to put down $3,000. I don't know everybody else's driving history, their insurance, who they're with. All of that is so different in subject. But what that typically looks like to join up is you pay your band. Let's just call it a band. Say you pay a band to get on. Then in the next week or so, as you're running, that lease on company more than likely takes a small percentage that pays for the dispatch services that they offer, the lease on for the privilege, and then for the insurance, and more than likely a small cut, which, I mean, that's what we're here for, is we're in the business. In terms of a percentage, because I see that question a lot, what's a good percentage for lease on? I would say the industry standard is between 10 and 20%, with the average being about 15, somewhere, plus or minus, depending on what people offer. So like if we were to do it, we would probably offer our free TMS. As long as you're with us, like we would do that. So definitely double check and see what kind of perks you have, what kind of risks you may also have. The other thing, if you really want to make a go of this and you want to check and see if the people that you're leasing on have a good safety score, because here's another risk. Let's say that company has made a name for itself with the government, FMCSA, DOT, for being not safe, kind of wild drivers or speeders or just whatever. They've made a name for themselves for the wrong reasons. Cops are human too. They're going to remember that logo or that name or that one particular like messed up bumper or something. And they're going to be looking for that. And I mean, I know I personally, I've hauled chemicals, tractor trailer. I work for a company called Brentag. They're like the largest chemical hauling company in the world. Although, we'll see about that. Anyhow, I used to go through like on the 26 to the 40 in North Carolina, you go through that scale and I'd get pulled over like 2-3 times a week on my route. And I finally was like, dude, why? And the cop was straight up. He was like, because I know your paperwork's squared away. You guys have an obligation to do better and be better. And I need a good inspection. And I know it's going to be clean and you're not going to be a Muppet. So there's also the other side of that too, where things are perfect and always on point, but that's kind of what you want. And to that end, for our drivers, anybody who gets pulled over and inspected and passes, I throw money automatically on your check. I don't care. Because to me, spending that little bit of money is so much more worth it than God being put out of service and having to wait for a mechanic. So I digressed on you guys a little bit on that one in terms of the lease on. Let's summarize and talk about that. Make sure that you're researching the company. Make sure that you understand what you're getting into and what your insurance looks like. And then, well, I was going to say, and then maybe also carry some insurance on your own. But I feel like, you know what, I can cover a separate lease on, like with a checklist of what you should look for, what you need. And I can do that for another video, but I've got enough going on. I don't really want to waste my time. If you guys actually want to leave a comment, say something, let me know exactly what you want to see, because the next one scheduled for me and planned is going to be, let's hit the MC and go get it. So I think that is a pretty good natural stopping point for now. If you really want to know more about Lease On, I'm happy to dive into it. Of course, drop a comment, let me know. So I don't know if you don't tell me, basically. How do I fix it if I don't know it's broken? You know what I mean? So that wraps it up for us. That has been another episode of Mission HQ. Stay tuned for next week's video. We will see you then.